This is a blue poem. It's blue because I'm confused. Again, or should I say still? I don't know what I want or how to get it. I guess because I'm afraid. Afraid I'm wrong. And I guess I'm afraid I'm wrong because I constantly relate myself to other people, other experiences, other ideas. If I always seek to pattern my life after another, mine is being wasted redoing things for my own empty acceptance. Again, I'm afraid. Afraid I'll just ignore this whole revelation and remain in a rut and rationalize it and just call it human nature or some shit. I've been living like this for so long, it seems like I'm doomed to continue. Although I have realized it now. That is encouraging. I only wish I could just have more confidence and forget all my silly preconceptions and misconceptions and just live. Just live. Just live. Just live. till I die. Today, we woke at sunrise and hitchhiked to Minneapolis. We saw the school. It's so big. Giant studios and facilities for silkscreen, etching, lithography. Giant sunroofs. We got a dorm apartment for 2 nights for just $10 and bought Great from Dead tickets. The Dead were great. We saw people we met at the campsite, sold t-shirts, got high. The Dead even did an encore from American Beauty.
Fare you well, my only true one.
After we left Minneapolis, we caught a truck ride to the border of North Dakota, where I ate 3 cheeseburgers and drank some beers. It was all farmers, and they kept talking about my hair. Rednecks. Susie said it looks like there's dead animals living in it. At least it does. Yesterday, we woke at sunrise, got out of the tent, and there were cows staring at us just 20 feet away. And they kept coming closer and closer until they were right in front of the tent. And Susie saying, "Hurry up, they're gonna charge at us!" So we hurried and we left. We also went to Newport Beach today. It was so nice. I wish I could live there. Sunburned. Yesterday, me and Susie took a bus to Disneyland. What a trip! It was like another world. We did everything you could possibly do in just 9 hours. We even went to the Haunted Mansion 2 times. We slept under a train bridge last night. Woke at sunrise and signed the bridge along with all the other people who had slept there. This is the end of the first part of my trip. Or should I say, the beginning of another trip. Through all the shit shines through the small ray of hope that lives in the common sense of a few. The music, dance, theater, and visual arts. The forms of expression. The arts of hope. This is where I think I fit in. If it's alongside a creek in the Rocky Mountains or a skyscraper in Chicago, or a small town called Park City, Utah. It's always with me. It's always with me. Art will never leave me, and never should. So, as I go into this next part of my trip, there'll be more creative and more work involved. And less talk and more doing, seeing, learning, being, loving, feelings, well, maybe less feelings, and just work my ass off. Because that, my friend, is where it's at. sit here and write, I feel comfortable. There are so many different ways to experience the phenomena of the city. Nothing is constant. Everything is constantly changing. None of the elements involved in the experience of time will ever be the same because everything is always changing. Label it growth. Most living beings build their lives around the belief that these differences, changes, don't exist. Keith Haring thinks in poems. Keith Haring paints poems. Poems do not necessarily need words. Words do not necessarily make poems. Paintings can be poems if they're read as words instead of images. Egyptian art, hieroglyphs, pictograms, symbolism, words as images. All of this in the context that everything is always changing. That's why for me, painting as I know it can be imagery as words. Because I am different at different times. And if I am different at different times, my imagery also changes. My paintings are a record of a given space of time. They are recorded patterns of thought. Time for self-realization. After the overemphasized, unquestioned movements of the last 10 years, it's time for the realization that art is everywhere and everything. That life is art, and art is life. That it is important to the future existence of the human race, that we understand the importance of the individual. And the reality, we're all different, all individual, all changing. I am me. I may be wearing the same shoes and have the same haircut, but that gives you no right to have any preconceived notions about who I am or what I am. You don't even know me, and you never will. The meaning of art, as it is experienced by the viewer, not the artist. The public has a right to art. To think that the public do not appreciate art because they do not understand it, that is actually bullshit. The computer has become the new life form. Is the computer a product of the human race? A way to save the human race and continue evolution of life itself? Life is more valuable than human beings. The destruction of this planet, this solar system, would not be an end to life. It will go on without us. We have a choice whether we wish to continue evolution on this planet or not. I vote yes. I feel in some way that I may be continuing to search, that other painters weren't able to finish because of the cruel, simple fact of death. Every true artist leaves unresolved statements, interrupted searches. I'm not a beginning. I'm not an end. I am a link in a chain, the strength of which depends on my own contributions. I'm a necessary part to an important search to which there is no end. Nobody knows what the ultimate meaning of my work is, because there is none. There is no idea. There is no definition. It doesn't mean anything. It exists only to be understood as an individual response. These environments are not only for people who understand art. They can be experienced by anybody, anywhere. Art is for everyone. Today, I woke early. Felt restless. Took a bus uptown. Got off 42nd Street. Spent a lot of time just walking, thinking. I do think that my video, music, and movement endeavors are all stemming from my obsessive need to paint. My obsessiveness has led me through many variations on image making. Beautiful Egyptian drawings today, showing how the symbols derive from picture symbolism. This is common to all languages, all people, all times. There is possibly within my paintings more meaning representationally than I would care to admit. I just leave up to others to decipher them. I am merely the middleman. I had a drawing class today. Things to be considered. Study the forms that interest me most. Find out why and pursue that. trust my own taste. Don't be so self-conscious. In my video art workshop, we started the class by listening to a letter from Vincent van Gogh. He is questioning all that he is doing and being disillusioned by his desire to master all that he undertakes. It came at an important time. I'm in Kutztown, missing that wonderful New York City air, the impending New York fear that is always a factor in whatever you're doing. Dirty air, dirty streets, dirty looks. I'm not missing all that much. Well, there's this new chunk of information that's shedding light on all that came before it. Poetry. It's Reading Cage, it's Burroughs and Ginsberg and Giorno at the Mug Club, it's Art, Sin, Boy, and Club 57 poetry readings. It's books that you just find in the library, or books that just find you. It's thinking about sex as art, and art as sex, and being called a faggot. It's taping up Xeroxes in the middle of the night and walking home drunk. It's all those things that just fit together so perfectly that it appears predetermined. It's Matisse, it's pornographic pictures, thinking about myself, it's graffiti in the subway, it's art as sin, as if no art as art. Big cocks. Looking at pornography on 42nd Street. I recognize a guy I met on Christopher Street. Fashion boy sits up straight and doesn't smile. I want to suck your cock, movie man. I wanna hold your hand. Voila. Let me fuck you, little hippie boy. Let me sit here and write things about your fat little cock. If you could snatch away my book and read my words, you would, and your hippie friends, kick in my face. I need reciprocation. I always feel this way. Eventually. Is my mother still here? Grandma's dying. And I'm crying because I'm just 21. And I'm standing here on 54th Street. I have no answers and no time to wait. I need them. I need answers. People look and they turn away. I want to be rejected. I want it. I want. Fuck me. Fuck it. Fuck. It hurt like it hurts for everyone. Distance and no more hope. Okay. Give up. Go home. He doesn't want you. Wasn't just that. The right moves just never happened. Uncomfortable pause. And he walks away. Didn't you inflict this wound yourself? Sometimes I feel really stupid. And sometimes I know I am. You. Boy in the bath. You turn me inside out and expose myself to myself. And I guess that's good. These fucking beautiful boys drive me crazy. This guy in the cafeteria. Gorgeous. I just stand there and say gorgeous to myself over and over again. I find an excuse to use the phone just so I can stand there and hear him just a little longer. Just a little longer. Pretty boys. And I just look. And I know it's bad because I just look. And I have an incredible imagination. This energy, sexual energy, maybe the single strongest impulse that I feel. More than art? Take me to Europe and propel me into a kind of limelight. Today, I'm 24 years old. 24 years is not a very long time. And then again, it is enough time. I have added many things to the world. The world will, however, go on without me being there to see it. It just won't be my world then. If this success had not happened, then maybe the world would not know these things after I go away. I don't know what I want the world to be, but only I can make these things that are called the works of Keith Haring.
Well, I've been working in the subway in New York for the past 2.5 years. Where I draw is where they usually have advertisements on the platform, and when they don't have enough advertisements, they put empty black paper to cancel out the old ad. So I noticed these about 2.5 years ago on my way through the subway, and I immediately went above ground and bought some chalk and went back down.
Hi, you are going to famous New York painter. What's your name?
My name is Keith Haring.
Oh, that Keith Haring.
Yeah, please Keith Haring. It would be just as elitist for me to be doing things just in the street and ignoring things in the galleries.
Artist is a spokesman for society at any given point in history.
The public has a right to art.
Art is for everybody.
Art is for everybody.
Art is for everybody.
Right.
so fast that the only record is airplane tickets and articles in magazines from the various trips and exhibitions. Someday, I suppose these will constitute my biography. In the beginning of my career, one awful word, I was misled by a teacher who thought the things I was writing to be pretentious. Years later, when I read those things I wrote in 1978, it didn't seem so pretentious. For almost everything I wrote about wanting to do, I actually did in the 4 or 5 years that followed. I keep thinking that the main reason I'm writing is a fear of death. I think I finally understand the importance of being alive. When I was watching the 4th of July fireworks, I saw my friend Martin. I saw death. He said he'd been tested and cleared of having AIDS. But when I saw him, I saw death. The main reason the baby has become my logo or signature is because it is the purest, most positive experience of human existence. I'm at an airport in Milano, waiting for Juan. When I arrived in Milano, I learned that Brian Geisen had died. I remember Brian telling me how frightened he was of death. For the simple reason of having to pay for all that he had done, said, written, and painted in life. What if God is, after all, a woman? A very angry woman. He had been called the grandfather of graffiti for his writing paintings. Miss Bryant. After Bobby Breslow died in January, I had to deal with a whole new situation of aloneness. Bobby was the guiding light behind the pop shop. He respected my limited interest in making money and understood, as I do, the aesthetic reason for the pop shop's existence. He could sense talent. One time, a few years ago, at a party, there was this young singer who performed. He kept telling me how great he thought she was. But I wasn't that impressed, but he was adamant about it. Well, he was right, as usual. She was Whitney Houston. Then I found out that Andy Warhol had died. Since then, it's been hard to think of anything else. Andy's life made my work possible. We always acknowledge my debt to him. I learned a lot of things from Andy in the 5 years that we were friends. He left hundreds of parties. Unnoticed leaving, but instantly missed.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board this flight from Dusseldorf to New York. We hope you have a pleasant journey and thank you for flying with us today.
After accidentally running into George Condo in Munich, I went there for a Nikki DeSaint Fowl show. The funniest thing was seeing all the big fat German ladies standing in front of Nikki's sculptures, looking exactly like the big fat sculptures. Anyway, George Condo's show was quite incredible, and very George. He's still my favorite painter. In an interview, George is asked about life and art, and which is more important. And George said, art is more important because it is immortal. George said, art is more important because it is immortal. This struck a very deep note inside. I'm quite aware of the chance that I have or will have AIDS. In fact, the symptoms already exist. My friends are dropping like flies. I don't know if I have 5 months or 5 years. I know my days are numbered. This is why my activities and projects are so important now. To do as much as possible, as quickly as possible. Work is all I have. And art is more important than life. I'm not scared of AIDS. Not for myself. I'm scared of having to watch more people die in front of me. Watching Bobby die was pure agony. I always knew since I was young that I would die young. Thought it would be fast. An accident, not a disease. Time would tell. But I'm not afraid. I live every day as if it were the last. I love life. Mercedes-Benz, Netherlands, Dusseldorf, Paris, Munich, Augsburg, May, Paris to Tokyo by London and Anchorage, 12-hour flight to Tokyo. Watching Jumpin' Jack Flash with Whoopi Goldberg. They also showed Crocodile Dundee. Both movies had my t-shirts in them. Bye to Nice. AIDS rumors. June, drive to Brussels, fly to Hamburg, Munster, Dusseldorf, Munster, Dusseldorf, to Geneva via Zurich, Lucky Strike poster. In the middle of the night, my stomach hurt so badly. Brussels, Knock, Antwerp, July. I'm feeling more optimistic after being in Europe, and I think it might just be a good idea to live longer. Taxi to airport, Concord to New York. I got home around 2:30 a.m. and called Kwan. He says he won't come to Tokyo with me unless he gets a wedding band. I'm real confused. I think I want to be independent sometimes, but if he would call me and tell me he was leaving for good and really mean it, I would freak out. I've never been good at this. I've never really understood love or had a relationship that went smoothly. I always seem to seek rejection. And the more I'm loved, the more I don't want to accept it. Because I want to be hurt. I like to pity myself for something. Oh, Valentine's Day. I'm happy. I can't explain why. Constantly reminded of reality. Having to take my ACT and Zovrax every 4 hours. Somehow, time in between seems totally magical. Trying as hard as I can to make sense of all this madness. My life, my misguided love, my friends, suffering, pain. A little burst of sanity. It's not even a question of understanding anymore. Accept it. I accept what I will never become and what I will never have. I accept life and I accept death. I am becoming very hard on the outside. Even softer on the inside. I find it hard to look in the mirror. Without being reminded that my days are numbered. I love one. I just can't spend all of my time with them. It starts to feel like I'm talking to a wall. Maybe I created the wall. At least I'm convinced he really loves me. In spite of everything. In spite of my inability to show him love and patience to understand him, he still loves me. last night we went to an opening of new Spanish artists. It was pretty boring. The only interesting thing was it really made me consider how little I have to do with what most people consider the basic concept of painting. In Amalfi, before we went to Naples, we took a boat to Francesco's studio to see the paintings that he did here. I think riding on the front of this boat, lying down with the warm water splashing on my hands, cool ocean breeze, the landscape of the cliffs of Amalfi really was one of the most incredible moments of my life. This is why I want to be alive. For moments like this. Some highlights. Pisa itself is really beautiful. Tower is remarkable. We saw it in the daylight. And then in the light of the full moon. It's really major, also hysterical. Every time you look at it, it just makes you smile.